Hello everyone, this is Danish from jobskillshare.org. This video is actually for our interns that are learning in our Discord community. So I'm just going to quickly show you that this video is for this group of interns that are doing this internship. Now again, this is a free internship. We basically picked our people based on performance in the batch 1. This is actually our first batch open publicly, so it was a lot of people, and some people did pretty well, some people needed more courses, and that's where we basically suggested them to finish the courses and then come back to batch 2 or 3 depending on when they finish these batches. So right now we are on actually task 8, so they have already done some really cool tasks where we're training them like a real MSP provider. So this is the MSP tool that we are using, Itarian MSP, and basically they were given a full vSphere access, and here is the access. This is all the interns that have done their work from task 1 till task 7. So as you can see, many of them have created their help desk machines, and in this machine they would have to go and do some like domain, joining the computer to a domain that didn't work, how to use a ping command, how to connect it, how to do the basic troubleshooting. And then not only that, we have given access to other interns who have actually done this process, so then they can watch them and help them. So then there's the community help, the community or the teamwork skills were basically kind of pushed in this area where they would ask each other questions here and then they will basically respond. So now we are at task 8 now. So we're done with the basics of installation window, looking at documentation, installing the Windows on a virtual system like vSphere, and then, doing all that stuff is done. Now I'm at the point where I'm assigning them a task where they will be accessing Office 365 like an admin, and then they will be basically creating some users, groups, and more stuff will be given to them in more tasks. But the first task over here is my task as a sysadmin. So in reality, the way it works is that you would have a domain controller like this, and this would be just a rough video because people, when they deploy something like that, it's a lot of documentation that you have to follow. We're not going to do that over here, just to show you example for our interns. How did this work? Like when they see this connection between a local domain controller and then Office 365 in cloud, how did I connect these two is going to be the key in this video. So this video is designed for our interns, but at the same time anyone can actually use this and just kind of like practice in their own if they want to follow their own learning. Okay, so the first thing I would do is change the CPU of this domain controller because many of interns are using the same server, so we kind of put it down and up. So I'll put 16 GB RAM in there, I put 4 vCPUs, and I'm going to turn on this domain controller. This was already created for our interns. Their job was to actually... Oh, I'm having some issues. Okay, so let me see if I can close these machines. So sometimes we would get this message, but then it will go away. So I'm just going to turn it off. Because we had to add 3 more data stores for interns because we ran out of the space, and we had to add it on the fly because we had 25 people. 25 is a lot of people to actually manage. Now it's less than that, but still we have a lot of people in there. So let's see if our domain controller can be turned on right now. It should be good now. So there you go. We just turned off some machines. So right now my job is basically to connect our on-premises domain controller to our cloud portal that we have just created for our interns. Okay, so right now if you see, there's only one account in this, and that is my account right there. But I'm going to create a new account, and I'm going to call it intern, and I'm going to call it intern, and there you go. And I'm going to give it a new password. Right now this is all lab stuff, so I'm just going to keep it very simple. There you go. And click next. So here we have 25 licenses available, so we have less people than that. So of course this means all of our interns are going to get licenses. So here we are going to click on apps. Every app is selected here, but in this right here you can see we're going to go to the next page, and the role of this account is going to be admin, and we're going to give it global admin. Now why are we doing this for our interns? Listen carefully, because this is the account that you will be using to add your own account, and then other people will be doing the same thing. So everybody will have a global admin rights. This is going to be the first task that I'm going to give everybody in the document. So the document is pretty lengthy. It's step by step. You cannot miss anything. It's going to be very simple, neat document, just like you guys did the first task. It was extremely step by step, the virtual machine creation. And then after that, you get tested based on a video that is given to you. Hey, did you do your research? Come back and try to figure things out, and things like that will make more, your learning will be more pushed. So here we're going to click on finish. And now we have finished this. So this account is finished now, and we have two global admins right here. We're going to be using both basically in some cases, but that's what the interns are going to actually learn, this whole Office 365 admin area. And when they finish with this stuff, they're going to come to the apps where they're going to learn about Outlook and some OneDrive stuff, some team stuff, and that will complete their Office 365 training, because people are heavily using Office 365. And one of the examples that I usually give people, go to Indeed.com and just search by 365. When do help the searching, and just do 365. This is a very hot skill, in-demand skill that you should put on your resume, okay? And put it as Office 365 management, anything, user management, Office 365 administration, however you want to put it, but make sure it makes more sense. And when you go out in the interview, people are going to respect it, because people know this. A lot of people know about this technology. People are using it left and right. So definitely, this is something that we heavily utilize in our platform, and that's one of the key area where we really focus, and why people do so well. So that's done, okay, right? So now we're going to go back to our domain controller, because we want to connect our domain controller with this Office 365 here. Right now, everything is cloud. So if you can look at this is the cloud account right now, right? So we don't have anything basically any local accounts added to this. So that's one way you can kind of check that, hey, is this is this something that it's connected to the local Active Directory? So it will basically have a icon in here. If you go to the columns, and if you, let's say, come over sync status, we're going to do that, and let's just click on here. You can see if you click on in cloud right here, right? So that shows that this is the account that was created in cloud. So we're going to go ahead and actually connect our domain controller with this, and this is how our interns are doing it right now. So if you're interested in our internship, I will put the Discord link right here to get to this place. You cannot get directly in here. As you can see, they're already talking about this right now, but you can actually come and start with the other channels, and when we open this internship to everybody, then you can join in. This is a very cool way to learn things. Of course, we do not pick every single person. You have to be approved for this stuff because of the basic requirements. Okay, so there you go. Our domain controller is going to be up and running, and we're going to connect our domain controller with our Office 365 cloud, and then we're going to have a on-premises and cloud connected together, which makes it hybrid environment, and most of the companies are using it this way right now. If they're not using it hybrid, then of course it's very easy, right? You can just go straight over here, add people in here and all that kind of stuff. But of course, a lot of companies are using Active Directory, and that's where, for a help desk person, it becomes a thing for you to learn, because even though, yes, this is going to be a sysadmin doing the connection between these two, but it's going to be you adding people in Active Directory, and syncing these two together is going to be a skill that is going to be given to you. Whether you know the PowerShell or not, they'll just tell you this is how it's done, and you're just gonna have to do that repetitive work, by knowing how to do it, following documentation. All right, so now we're gonna open our IE in this server, and we're going to log into Office 365 account that we have admin access. But before doing that, I'm going to show you what access you would require locally to connect these two together. So the first thing we need to do is to go to portal.office.com, and we're gonna log into our portal. So here it's gonna ask us for login, and we're gonna go ahead and log in with the account that we have in Office 365. So right now, I'm going to use admin account, but interns will be using their account. That will be in the documentation. So we named this DMV intern internship.ownmicrosoft.com, and we're gonna go ahead and put the password here. So as you can see, I just logged in, and I'm gonna go ahead and say no to that, no to this site. So the first time when you log in, you're going to see this page. I'm just gonna cancel this, and I'm gonna go to portal.azure.com. You can actually go from admin too, but I'm just gonna do it from here. It's much easier to do it this way. Right now, what are we doing? As a systems administrator, I'm just kind of connecting the on-premises with your cloud, and we're just connecting these two together. Just in a simple words, I'm not using any technical terms here because that's not a part of this whole internship. You will learn all of this stuff later on when we upgrade our internship to more sysadmin level, and for now you just need to kind of follow this information. So here, this is the portal.azure.com. This is your Azure environment. Even with this access that you're getting, you also have access to the Azure. Of course, you don't have access to virtual machines and stuff like that, but you can still do the Azure Active Directory learning, and that's something it's going to be a part of your task. So don't try to create something already because you have access. Just stick to the tasks for now, and that will be easy learning if you do it this way. So as you can see right now, it says it's not enabled and sync never ran because it's not enabled. So the Azure AD Connect, we're going to click on that, and now we're going to basically connect these two together. So here you have download Azure AD Connect. We're going to go ahead and download that on this domain controller. So right now we are doing it. So remember, this doesn't have to be a domain controller, by the way. In the real world environment, you can have a different server. It just has to be domain joined if you want to make sure that everything works correctly. So we're going to go ahead and download this, and we're going to download, and we're going to run this MSI. So now this is where you need to be careful about the rights. So let's go ahead to Active Directory, and this is where we needed that basic skills in Active Directory before people start actually applying these skills, because this is stuff that you will be learning from courses and not in internship. Internship is more like you do the real world stuff, you get the skills, you get that real company behind in the resume, because we give you that stuff, and then you have to finish all these tasks together, and you put it on LinkedIn, wherever you want to put it then. So here you see that we have the Azure AD connector up and running. But before now proceeding to the next step, what I would like to do is I'm going to go to the Windows Administrative Tools, and I like to open the normal way of opening an Active Directory user management. So there you go. We have you can open this from a server manager, from many other areas, but I'm just using it here. Administrative Tools, Active Directory users and computers. So you see I stopped over here. I'm not running anything more, so I'm just going to stop over here and open Active Directory. And here we have this one account which is called Help Desk. This is all of our interns that have done work here. You can see many interns have already done work over here, and we're gonna come over here and then go to the properties, and this account has to be an enterprise admin. You can't just do the domain admin here. So you see we don't have an enterprise admin added, so we're gonna go ahead and enterprise admin. We're gonna just type that and click on apply and OK. Just confirm it again. It's there. So we have two accounts now that we need for this to work. Enterprise admin, domain admin inside the local Active Directory, on-premises Active Directory. A global admin on Office 365 to connect these two together. So we're going to say agree, continue, and here we're going to say express setting. We're not using customized settings, we're going to do express settings. So as you can see right now, this is asking us for what? Azure AD Global Admin. This is the first admin account that we use. So here we're going to use that. In DMV interns dot own Microsoft and then the password. So that went through. If that didn't went through, then you need to check your rights on the Office 365 side. And here you can see it says Enterprise Administrator Credentials. So here what you need to do, you need to type the Active Directory information and then the username over here. So you can see it says it gives you the information how to do it. So if you don't know what's your Active Directory information, so then you can just easily come over here and then see what's your Active Directory. So this is JSS right here. You can always click on go to properties. We're using JSS for NetBIOS right here. So here, if you're gonna come over here, what are we gonna put? We're gonna put JSS help desk and the password. So it's examining, everything is good. That's great. So in this next step, you have to click on this little checkbox to continue, because if you have a verified domain name in the Azure Active Directory and also the Office 365, then it needs to match your Active Directory locally, because you have to use the same information. So what will happen is that if you check this box, all the internal names like this, for example, this one, this is going to change to on Microsoft. So for example, if you go to the account right here, you see this is jssjobskillshare.org. This is actually going to change to onmicrosoft.com. So that's what it's going to do. We don't care about that because we're trying to connect these two together. So right now we're done, and we're going to say install this process. So that's it. This is how you connect. Of course, this is not that simple. You have to really go inside this, and once this is done, you can actually pick and choose containers and stuff like that. So you can go to the Active Directory here, and you can go to the system, actually that application, and then you can pick and choose, like, I want this specific container, I want that container, or I want this group or something like that to be synced only, because some people have thousands of objects and different type of information in Active Directory. They don't want all that to be synced over to cloud, and that's going to be costly for license and everything like that. So people do kind of do this in a very nice documented way. They have to follow documentation. The rest is kind of like a sysadmin stuff. If a password is expired, then things can break pretty bad. You need to know how to fix it, restart the services, all that kind of stuff is a sysadmin job. So here, the thing is done by the sysadmin. So we're going to wait for it. And once this is done, we're going to open up our Office 365 and verify that are these names, are they available in the Office 365. And then these interns, they will be given tasks, different type of tasks based on this video. So then this video will be the first video, because they need to understand what is happening over here. So that's where don't know why this is disabled. All right, we're gonna enable some of these guys right here. Enable. These are all the interns, by the way. They came here, did the hard work, and there you go. They're learning all this stuff with the team, and it's amazing. It's amazing how many things we find out, how many things we learn together. So there's so many things that I was learning when I was redoing these things, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize this stuff that I should be going over. So it's a good learning, for every single person in this platform, and I do recommend you guys join the Discord community. I will put the link below in the description. Join in, talk to people. We got a lot of friends. We have KevTech also in the community. He has his own server, and we get together and just help people out. We get help ourselves, and all that stuff is real stuff going on for IT professionals. So please join in and make some connections. So right now you see this is saying creating a Azure Active Directory synchronization account. So you're going to have one account in the Active Directory, and you're going to have one account in the cloud. So usually people will make their own accounts after that to use it just for the syncing processes, and that's little advanced stuff, but that's what we do as a sysadmin. We're going to create these accounts and test it and do a lot of different things in this area for this to work properly. By the way, why are we doing this? Most of the time, help desk people should be asking this question. And the reason we want to do this because you don't want to be adding accounts in two places, right? So if you have 5 people that join your company, they're not going to tell you to go ahead and add an account in cloud and then add an account in Active Directory. So this way, you don't have to do this. You can basically create this, and then after that, it will get synced over in 30 minutes in the cloud automatically. Now you do have commands to push this to the Active Directory, which is a part of our internship task where they're going to do this, pushing things and creating things from local to the cloud, downloading things from the cloud, working with the local machine. And that's the reason. That's the reason we created this whole MSP environment for people to be actually learning this stuff. Like this is where they're gonna be able to open up their machines and they'll connect to it, and then they'll do everything from here, just like an MSP. And then that's some real technical skills that they're learning, not just doing this in home or labs. This is a little above beyond that level. So now they're gonna have that real experience on real applications. They will use these applications on their resume, and then they will be able to provide this information to anyone who's out there, not only for just getting a job, but actually getting confident. Learning these skills is the biggest thing for us. We're not only here to tell people that you can only land a job, because that's not our belief. Our belief is that's only step one. Step two, step three is the stress, is the amount of information that you need to know and how you need to know it, how smartly you can learn these things. So we basically tell people that don't get into too technical things and don't try to become involved in the things like I know this or that. The thing is this: how do you know this stuff, and how good can you use this stuff for your own professional career, rather than saying that I know this or that. So we like to train our interns with a very open and positive mind here, so then they can at least learn this technique of not getting involved in IT politics, but actually moving forward and making money and enjoying their life with stress-free environment, stress-free learning too. All right, as you can see, the configuration is done. We have successfully created this connection between a on-premises with the cloud. So let's go to the cloud right now, and you can see, there you go. All of our interns just got their accounts created automatically over here. So the next job for them is going to be coming over here and making themselves a global admin, and then they will be creating an extra accounts, not a global admin, and that's going to be in the documentation for them. But there you go. These are all interns who have done their job correctly. All of their accounts have been automatically synced to the cloud. As I mentioned that, you can see the JSS domain is not there. That's when you have a real system, real domain and everything. You would be seeing the same domain right here, so they can log in. But that is it. They will be doing all this fixing here, unlicensed stuff and all that stuff. They will learn in their task 8, which is going to be provided to them in this area. So if you want to enjoy how they do these things, and sometimes we even provide a way for you to see these things, what they're doing. So make sure you just come on in and kind of see what they're doing here to learn from the batch 1. Thank you, and that is it for us. I'm going to share the link, and that's it for how to connect these two together. Now we have a hybrid system working together. Thank you, and I'll see you in a different video.